Both of them? Yeah. And I should do it here, even though we're pointing to the video there? Yeah. Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Respected Sayyid, elders, brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ramadan Mubarak to you. Come on, it's okay. Normally, I come to visit you guys in the first half of the month. This year. I'm a little bit late in coming to see you. But I'm sure this year you guys have been following along. There's been a lot of video posts that have been happening on Facebook and other places of the different projects that the Zahra Trust is running around the world right now. MashaAllah, alhamdulillah, with your support, we're currently working in about 7 countries. Afghanistan, Pakistan, India, Myanmar, Yemen, Iraq, and for the people of Syria as well too. What I want to talk to you about is a new project that we've been developing, and I want to kind of introduce the project to you guys to talk to you about why it's important and why we're doing it. But first, as an organization, one of the things that we've always said is our goal is not simply to give handouts to people, but to rather give them the facilities to become independent and self-sufficient again. And there's a lot of steps in that process, and yes, initially we began with simply just giving handouts, but now we're starting to work it on the second phase of what our organizational goal is to make people independent, that they don't need handouts anymore. And that takes a little bit of work. We've been doing a lot of work in different countries. In Iraq, alhamdulillah, we have over 400 families who receive regular stipends in Najaf, and 200 families in Karbala who receive assistance through the work that the Trust performs. We spend over about $20,000 a month in aid in Iraq on a monthly basis. In addition to that, we have programs in Myanmar right now that, as you've been following with the people of the Rohingya, we've been offering assistance and aid there. For people in Yemen, we've now taken responsibility for 3 villages to consistently provide assistance and food aid to them. In Afghanistan, we just finished a project for the bombings that have been happening in Kabul at the Shia centers. We sent aid that was raised locally to help assist those families and the orphans of those people who were martyred in those events, as well as the village of Bamia, which is out one of the smaller villages that are surrounded by Sunni areas. We've taken the responsibility to ensure that food is there. In Pakistan, we've been doing a lot of projects in Skardu and other areas that talk about infrastructure to improve the quality of life. And the same thing with Syrian refugees. Now, one of the things that I want to be sure that is clear is that from the U.S., we do not send aid into Syria. The government does not legally allow U.S.-based organizations to send financial aid into Syria. From the U.S., what we do is we offer aid to refugees who are located in different camps or different locations around the world. And we promote the work that's being done there, but we don't actually send finances into those areas because legally we are not allowed to. Please? Oh, okay, hang on. Here we go. So, as I mentioned, our goal is the long-term development to change the mentality of what's going on in these countries to improve the quality of the next generation. What you're seeing is that in one picture, these children were taken to the book fair that happens in Karbala, Ma'arad al-Qutub, to introduce them to different books, to take them around to see books, to appreciate education and knowledge. And on the right are specialized programs for Eid and other events that we hold for these orphans to change the environment. One of the things many of you, I'm sure you saw, was a video that Sayyid Ammar put out this year that was taking these kids to a nice restaurant. What we found in Karbala was that, alhamdulillah, there was no one who was going hungry anymore. Even amongst the widows who we take care of, when we asked them, they said, no, we have food, we're okay. So the idea of spending now money just to give food to them because it's the month of Ramadan, we should give food, we said, hold on a minute, let's think about this for a minute. One of the things that happens with a child in the month of Ramadan is that their father takes them out to a special dinner or takes them out to special events to make the month special for them. So we decided, instead of spending the money on an iftar that they could have at home as well too, let's do something unique and different that raises the awareness of that child that he's special, that he's different, that he deserves attention. And so we took them to one of the nicest restaurants that we could find. We gave them iftar for the night, and we gave them toys and activities to show the same way a father would love that child, that we love those children as well too. In Karbala, one of our office there, we've set up a kitchen there where the widows can now cook for themselves. And what they came to us with this year, they said that every year in the month of Ramadan, iftar comes out to the people. This year we have a facility that we're comfortable with and that we can cook in. Give us the opportunity to cook iftar for all of the zawar of Imam Hussein. So one of the nights they actually prepared food and they took it out to Bain al-Haramain and they assisted in providing iftar for all of the people that were there. It's the question of changing that mentality, that as opposed to being someone who's looking for a handout, to making them a part of society. The next phase that we're building now is we're calling it the Orphan and Needy People's Village that's between Najaf and Karbala. Many of you who have gone for ziyarat of Arba'in have come to the Mawqib of the Zahra Trust and seen and taken advantage of the resources that are there that are made there for you. What we're looking to do there is create a facility that will be an educational facility to continue this process of educating and changing the mentality, developing skills and resources for these women as well as the children, and including offering services that are associated with mental health benefits and a healthcare clinic. Along with that, behind that, what we're planning on doing is creating a place where these people can have some houses. These are the types of families that we're looking to relocate into the village, those who are in some of the worst conditions altogether. A few months ago, I took the opportunity to go down, and before we agreed to give anybody a piece of housing, we actually go and we research what's their condition, what's their situation. And this is a woman with 4 orphans who herself is sick quite a bit. And if you take a look at her house, it's not really sufficient for her or for anyone. The roof leaks. There's not proper electricity in the building. There's not proper plumbing. These houses are created on what's called Ardut Tajawuz. Ardut Tajawuz refers to land that was designated either as farming or as another piece of property that the government says we don't provide municipal services. There's no running water that's properly installed. There's no proper electricity. So what people do is they makeshift create resources for themselves to live on this land. And this is the type of housing that they live in. If you notice, the floors are wet. When we asked them why are there no carpets, they said it rained yesterday. So it's going to be a couple of days before we can put the carpet back down until the earth dries up and it's more comfortable. And half of their house is outside, and it's not proper housing. When we look at people like this and we say that we want them to be independent, we don't want them to receive handouts anymore, it's very hard for us to make that possible because, well, they have to get past this kind of a living environment. So that's our goal, is to get them past this living environment. These videos will be available with the Jamaat as well, that if anybody wants to see. This is the building project that's going on now. Those who have been for Arba'in, they've seen this area, but now there's active construction. Those are actually new houses that are being built in the back there. And we're currently in the phase of construction where we're building 30 houses. Along with the 30 houses, we've started the building of the clinic in the front, as well as during Arba'in, you'll have a proper Husseiniya to stay in now, as opposed to the tents that people have gotten accustomed to staying at with us. So each of these houses is about 50 meters. They're properly constructed. We've done a lot of infrastructure and investment to make sure that these things are high quality and they last for a period of time. This in the front is the building that's being developed for the healthcare clinics, the classrooms, the continuing education, and in Arba'in it'll be used as a Husseiniya. Again, the video is here. These are the insides of the houses. There's proper tile work, proper quality materials that have been used to make these houses last long and make them comfortable for the families who stay there, as well as we've invested in the foundation to make it a much more comfortable place for them to be. This is the cost that it takes us for each house. Each house costs about $28,000 to build. And the quality of the build is there. These are the information, the fees per house that we have to go through to be able to do it. And the annual maintenance cost for each house is expected to be $2,000. So with our cost, one house is 50 meters. It has a foundation that's layered for up to 3 stories to build on. We provide them with 1 story. As the family grows, they have the ability to add on to it to make it a bigger house. What I'm looking for and what I'm talking to you guys about here is that us in the U.S., alhamdulillah, we have resources. And our communities, alhamdulillah, we're pretty secure. My goal this Ramadan is to ask each of our communities to sponsor 1 house in this village. That if 100 people get together and they put in $280, this Sadaqah Jariyah project in the name of the community can be established. So this is an opportunity for the members of HIC, if they would be interested to partake in this and to join in this process, they're welcome to. There's information included outside that I've brought for you guys that includes the annual report that we put out every year of the work that we've done over the last year, including information about this project and where donations can be made if anyone is interested. But the idea is just to raise awareness. My goal is not simply that, for example, that this is the organization you should support. This is the month of Ramadan. That in this month, everything is something that Allah loves. أحسن الصدقات في شهر رمضان. That the best of sadaqah is in the month of Ramadan that our Prophet taught us. That take advantage of this month, whether it's this cause or other opportunities, make sure that this month does not pass by except that you give some charity or some activity in the way of Allah with no ulterior motive that, oh Allah, this is for your sake and for no one else. So there's additional information outside. I'm going to ask some of the community members that are here, hopefully that if they can help us support the project that they're here. If you have any questions or interest, that we can continue this process. But other than that, that's all the information I have for you. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.